What's up, guys? Welcome to this episode of Head-to-Head Battles. In today's episode, we're going to be going over a deck list that has more potential than my future offspring, alright? Big shout out to Cam Neal for introducing me to this brick. Big shout out to Cam Neal for introducing me to this deck. The deck is really fun and it has a lot of potential and a lot of two-card combos, alright? So, before we dive into this deck profile, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Hit that notification bell to join the squad. Also, if you haven't picked up your All Might X Sunrise Gold and or Black Metal Field Centers, head over to HeadtoHeadBattles.com and pick them up while you can, because you know they do not last, alright guys? Also, if you want to see me test this deck IRL live, we stream on Twitch over at twitch.tv/HeadtoHeadBattles. We stream every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 p.m. EST. We play with locals, we play with you, we play with other Yugi tubers that you might really enjoy watching. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. All right, so we're gonna go straight into the deck profile. Then we're gonna do our two-card combo, and then we're gonna kind of like do an in-depth discussion on the pros and the cons. All right, so for our starters, we're playing Buster Welt, the Destruction Swordsman. This card is your one-card starter, and the card is really good, and you definitely want to see it in your opening hand, because if your opponent were to rip 4 cards out of your hand and you still have this, you are still playing Yu-Gi-Oh, which is unbelievable. But this one card alone will enable you your Buster Blader lock, alright? Next, we're playing the Buster Blader, the Destruction Swordsman. Now, this is a card you definitely don't want to see any of, let alone multiples of, in your opening hand, because it's a brick. It's kind of like, it's even worse than Dark Magician and Red Eyes, and Lord knows we out here drawing both of those, alright? Next, we're playing 2 Edlich the Golden Lord. This card is really good. You can send itself and a spell and trap to the graveyard to pop a card, or send the spell or trap on the field to the graveyard to add this to your hand to special summon it with an attack boost and some protection. Next, for our Rocket Pack, we're playing double Tracer and 1 Recharger. We are playing Quick Launch and Boot Sector, so no matter what, you do have kind of a gateway to the Savage Dragon and the Chaos Ruler, and depending on your hand and the situation, it kind of like depends on what you want to go for, but you know, we'll go through both lines of play. For our hand traps, we're playing triple Ash Blossom. Again, it's a catch-all. Even if you're going up against like some incredible rogue deck such as this one, Ash Blossom definitely hurts. Next, we're playing triple DD Crow. DD Crow is really good in the format because Edlich is still a very powerful deck. So is Invoked, which if you just DD Crow the Alistair, they better have another Alistair in the hand. It doesn't hurt DRAGONLINK as much, but it definitely does still come up. And next, for our spicy tech, well, not a spicy tech, but I think a hand trap of choice for this format, with DRAGONLINK being so prevalent, is Phantasme. Now, Phantasme against DRAGONLINK literally says you can draw 4 cards, because by the time they have Seals, LP, and Pissy on the field, they have no negates. They can't stop the Phantasme. You pretty much will resolve that draw 4, and you'll definitely find cards that you need, alright? Next, for our spell lineup, we're running triple Cursed Elland. Elland is our kind of searcher, obviously. It can add us Golden Lord to the hand, or Hakuero or Conquistador, all cards that are really, really good. Now, you generally never want to add the Golden Lord with this. It depends where you are in the game, but if it's turn 1, definitely not. Just search the Hakuero, Conquistador, and set it, and then you're good to go. Next, we're playing triple Quick Launch. This card is really good because, yeah, this deck is normal summon reliant, but it depends how you open, right? Because you have 5 cards, and the way the deck is built, you should be seeing some ratios while, minimizing or mitigating seeing other ratios that you don't want to see. Quick Launch is a really good extender. Not that this deck needs extenders, but sometimes a Quick Launch does come in very handy, alright? Next, for our draw power, we're playing Pot of Prosperity. This card in most trap decks is really free, and even in a deck like this, your extra deck is important, but it's important to note that with Pot of Prosperity, you can choose the cards that you want to banish face down, which is super, super important, alright? Next, we're playing the 1 Boost Sector Launch. Boost Sector Launch will come in very handy, and I'll show you later in the combo, alright? Now, for the Super Spice, we're playing triple Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman. This card enables you to summon your Buster Dragon, and because this dumps this card for cost, Destruction Sword memories, you can chain this right away, banish it, and this is what summons you your Buster Blader. So once the chains are all done resolving and you didn't get interrupted, you should have your Buster Blader and the Buster Dragon both on the field, alright? These are also bricks. You definitely don't want to see these two cards in your opening hand. During the extravaganza, I opened double Buster Blader, 2 prologues, and both of these traps. And it was literally unplayable. Next we're playing triple Elixir of the Scarlet Sanguine. The Edlich ratios are the same, because I feel like these are just the best. So we're playing 3 Sanguine, 3 Conquistador, and double Hakuero. I feel like these are the best ratios, at least for the format right now. And yeah, I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Next, for the extra deck, we're playing double Striker Dragon. You're definitely gonna want to play 2, because Lord knows they're gonna stop the Striker Dragon sometimes. We're playing the 1 Link Spider, the 1 Buster Whelp of the Destruction Sword. Now, this card generally is played in a lot of Dragonlink decks, like maybe last format or the format before. This card actually does something. Upon Link Summon, you can send a Destruction Sword card from your deck to the graveyard, which is pretty good. Next, we're playing the 1 Nightmare Unicorn and the 1 Access Code Talker, which rounds it out for our links. All right. Next, we're playing the double Buster Dragon. This card basically says all your opponent's monsters are dragons. And then we couple that with the Buster Blader, which basically says all your opponent's dragon monsters are in defense and cannot activate their effects. That is huge, all right? Oh, also it does piercing damage, which is insane. But it can attack directly, but not that it matters, all right? Next we're playing the 1 Chaos Ruler, the 1 Hot Red Archfiend Dragon Abyss. I butchered that name. 1 Borlo Savage Dragon Dingirsu, and Divine AA Zeus. Alright, so obviously we do play some level 8s here, and the Buster Dragon actually gets popped during the next end phase. So before that happens, you can overlay it for Dingirsu, attack, and overlay it for Zeus. Alright. Next, in the side deck, we're playing triple Cosmic Cyclone. Cosmic Cyclone is really good because I feel like it's better than Twin Twister or Lightning Storm, because depending on most of your matchups, but I'm generally speaking of the Edlich matchup, you banishing their trap cards as opposed to you just dumping all your opponent's trap cards so they can plus in the end phase. I'll take Cyclone over Lightning Storm any day. We're playing triple Artifact Lancia. With Dinos coming back into the format, with invoked players, Lancia is definitely a power card against them, and it's a card that you could argue you could main deck, but I'm not a big fan of main decking Lancia, at least with this deck in particular, alright? Next, we're playing triple Forbidden Droplet. Droplet is pretty good in this deck because, once again, we don't mind just discarding cards from our hand, especially if they are Edlich trap cards, because those are just plus for us in the end phase, alright? Next, we're playing Droll and Lockbird. I know Drytrons are not prevalent in the meta right now, but Invoke still is, and Droll actually can kind of mitigate the Dragonlink end board. Not that the Dragonlink end board is even that great right now. They end on, what, a negate and a bounce or 2? But, I mean, Droll and Lockbird is still really good and deserves a slot in this side deck, alright? Next, we're playing triple Solemn Judgment. When we're going first, and we know we're going first, we're probably going to take out the DD Crows for the Solemn Judgments, and then, work the side deck however we needed to once we kind of figure out what our opponent's strategy is, all right? Now, let's go over to a 2-card combo. All right, guys, so now we're going to go over that 2-card combo that I was talking about. It's really simple. You basically need one way to Rocket Tracer, which is Rocket Tracer itself, or a Quick Launch, and we're playing technically 6 copies, and your starter, all right? So you're going to start out by normal summoning the Buster Whelp, which will then grab us the Prologue, which is the trap we need. We're going to link off the Buster Whelp for a Striker Dragon. And when you use Striker Dragon effect to add as a Boot Sector launch, we're going to activate that Boot Sector launch to special the Rocket Trace from the hand. We're going to use Rocket Tracer effect, popping the Striker Dragon to grab us a Rocket Recharger. Now, the Recharger and the Tracer will turn into a Savage Dragon with Uno Negate. And that's all we really need, because we just want the Prologue to resolve one time, right? And then we'll set the Prologue, and then we'll pass, and then we'll activate Prologue, which will then, for cost, send the Destruction Sword and the Absolute Brick. And then what that's going to do is, in the same chain, because you sent it for cost, you're going to banish the Destruction Sword memories, the Buster Whelp, and the Buster Blader. And this will summon you out a Buster Blader and a Buster Dragon. So what this basically is doing is all your opponent's monsters are dragons, and Buster Blader turns them all into defense, and they can't even attempt to activate their effects. And on top of that, if they didn't have a negate for it, you still have the Borlo Savage negate to defend against pop, because obviously your board isn't invincible, but generally speaking, if your opponent has a monster effect that they can't activate, then it doesn't matter, but they still have, they could still have some form of removal via spell cards, right? So basically, that's a very simple combo that you can do. And mind you, that was with 2 cards. If I opened Cursed Elland, or if I opened, any of the Edlich traps, then that is also really big. And on top of that, we also play 8 hand traps, so we're bound to see one of those as well. So not only is your opponent floodgated, you also have 1, 2, maybe 3 interactions on field and in the hand. All right, now the biggest thing about this deck is it plays very slowly, right? Because even beforehand, let's say you didn't open up Ideal, and with Rocket, and let's say with Rocket Tracer and Rocket Recharger, you decided to go into a Chaos Ruler instead. Now you don't have the Borlo Savage negate, but now you have the mills off of the ruler, which could, fuel your Edlich engine, which is really, really good. But on top of that, if you do mill the other bricks, then you can't resolve Prologue again. There aren't many instances where you want to resolve Prologue more than 1 time, unless your opponent just didn't open very well. But even in this case, like I said, you can overlay these 2 or even these 2, because this card is still really nice to overlay into the Dingirsu and then swing and then overlay for the Zeus. All right, guys, so that's it for today's deck profile. If you like this deck profile, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment, and hit that notification bell for more deck profiles like this one. Again, big shout out to Cam Neal for introducing me to this deck. It definitely took some getting used to. It's definitely not my play style, but if you build this deck and you are successful with it, let me know in the comment section down below, and join our Discord, because we do a lot of testing there. We do a lot of deck theorizing, and we're definitely more casual friendly and to the newer players. All right, guys, so I freaking love you guys. This is Susu from Head to Head Battles, signing out.